one of our main topics, Stranger Things Season 4, Part 1. 7 episodes got released, Part 2 releasing in July 1st, if I'm not mistaken. 2 episodes. Just going to start out with a non-spoiler first, initial thoughts about the season, the Part 1 of the season. All right. It was interesting because when I started watching it, I was just like, I don't really remember much about these characters. You know, I got Alzheimer's, but other than that, it was just like I felt like it was too long between the seasons, and it took me a while to get back into the rhythm of Stranger Things and to remember the characters and why I liked them or disliked them, depending on who it is. Some characters won me over a little more this season, which I was surprised about. Very cool. But overall, it was a slow start. Pretty long season, Part 1. Like, the episodes were really long. I felt like there was a lot of fat in the season that could have been cut out. But a great twist at the end that was kind of worth it all, at least to me. But that's my opinion. Who wants to go next? Don't all jump at once.
I can do it.
I'll go
Danny usually says I'll do it, so I wait.
I don't know. I just
I can do it. Oh, no, you're about to blow up. I'll go. All
right.
I gotta be out.
Pacemaker going on.
Pacemaker.
Coffee break. No, but I'll go.
Okay, go for it.
The time difference definitely threw me off as well. I was just like, damn, these kids is old as fuck right now. Like, yo, who are these people? So it was like I did take that little adjustment period, but it was quick for me. One thing that I really do like is how they tie in the Dungeon and Dragons lore, and I think that's one big thing for me because there's so much lore, and how they tie it into the show, and I really like the Upside Down world too. They showed that. I just like the concept of it and how it ties into the show as well, and it's all coming together to me, and it's pretty. Like Eslam said, it's definitely worthwhile in the end. I did enjoy the show, and even though some of the episodes were kind of long, I feel like they were just trying to give each character their own time, their own little screen time, and build it up. But overall, it wasn't a very good watch.
I feel like this season gave me a lot of, or more questions that need to be answered than previously before. But yeah. Dan, you want to go next?
Sure. I like the show. I have a good memory. I remembered everything, so I was all right. I'm just curious. Did you guys watch the recap before it? There was a recap.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely had to watch that.
All right, okay.
No, it's not about
recap. It's just that I don't know. They just changed so much. They're all grown as fuck now. They're grown.
See, I've seen them in different things, like not all of them, but some of them. So I was like, all right, what's his name? Mike was in the newest Ghostbusters.
Yep.
11, she's done a couple movies here and there. So it's like I've recognized them. I was like, it's not that much of a surprise to me. What's his name's High Top? Lucas's High Top. I was just staring at that thing the whole time. I was like, man, that thing is.
Speaking of Lucas, I think he's been cast as a new Doctor Who. So.
Oh, has he?
Really?
That's interesting.
Sure about that?
Lucas? Yeah. Let me look it up while you go down.
Yeah, go for that.
Go for that. Another guy named Lucas?
Yeah, I feel like it's just some other man. Completely.
I'm pretty sure it's him.
We're talking about the same kid, right?
Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, the black kid.
Okay. Anyway, I enjoyed the show very much. I did like the different aspects from like 4 different points of the world, basically. Going all off at once. I did like the tie-in at the end, and there was a lot of nods to older shows, like such. It's not a spoiler if I name who the Victor Creel's character, or like who the actor was, right?
Who is
Victor Creel, the blind man who ripped his eyes out?
Oh, okay. No, I don't.
It's Robert Englund, the guy who played Freddy Krueger, and this show had a lot of tie-ins to Freddy Krueger. If you think about a lot of what was going on, Dream World and stuff like that, and it was like even when you see him like in the in his little cell, and he's like dragging his nails across the thing. I was just like, oh, I'm just thinking of the knives on his hands, like Freddy Krueger knives. So it was like a lot of nods to that and a bunch of different things. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. I can't wait to see the next 2 episodes of this season, Volume 2.
All right,
what about you, Fernando?
Best for last.
So yeah, the excuse me. So the gap in between season 3 to 4, I don't even know how long it's been, but after I picked up from it, I was like, yeah, who the hell are these kids? And they're all grown and shit. And I had to find out what the hell was going on again. But once I did, it was easy to pick it back up. This season is, I will admit, I actually really like the season a lot more than I've liked the past seasons. It's a very homage to the Nightmare on Elm Street and Hellraiser movies. The whole dream aspect and a lot of names that were like you find in the Nightmare on Elm Street films, like Nancy and Chrissy. Well, I'm not sure if it was the girl Chrissy who was in the movie who has certain issues in the movie. I'm sorry, in the series. She reminds me of Tina from the Nightmare on Elm Street 1 movie. And kind of like in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, where one of the guys that Tina was sleeping with, he had to watch her die by something that wasn't there. So that kind of reminded me of that episode of what happened to Chrissy. And he was going to be blamed for it, and they were trying to find him. So it was a big kind of like a Nightmare on Elm Street type of remake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they went hard on that. That and Carrie too. I wanted to say, especially with the whole stuff with 11, when her in California, she's getting bullied and she's this girl with powers. Made me think of Carrie a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like there was a lot of nods to old school stuff, which I appreciate. That's what the show's been doing from the very beginning.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this season more than I did the past ones, and because of the fact that these kids are so much older now, I think they're really pushing a more harder R-ish type of vibe.
Yep, Papa Sunkiller.
That's right. I don't know.
It's
why.
not him. That's the
I have
it's
to
not
agree,
him.
though.
It's probably not. I thought I could have sworn I saw. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't him. I'm racist. It was actually so the actor from this other show I watch, who's also black, is the one that got named the new Doctor Who. He's from the one on Netflix about sex education. It's a British show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that
really
before.
funny show. But yeah, that kid got makes sense since he's British. But yeah, sorry about that.
I just feel like this kid's too young to be Doctor Who, but
it sounded so weird when you said Lucas was Doctor Who. I was just nah.
Man, he was terrible on Stranger Things. They made him Doctor Who.
You thought he was terrible on Stranger Things?
To be quite honest, maybe it's just really good acting, but I'm really not feeling his character very much.
Okay.
I felt like it was a cliche motives for his character. It was just cheesy.
I enjoyed him. I enjoyed
Anybody feel that Mike was the one that was held in a Russian prison? Because that dude did not eat since season 3 and got no sunlight.
Are we doing spoilers now?
No, I'm just saying, the way he looks in, just the way he looks in the season. This is not a spoiler, just that the guy himself.
Skinny kid. I don't know.
He is a skinny kid who's also fucking transparent.
All right, man, calm down. leave the boy alone. Leave the child alone.
Get some sunlight, Mike.
Leave
God, you need vitamin
powder
D.
alone. Don't start powder shaming people.
Jeez. Okay. All right, let's start
our sickly though. I'll give you that.
He feels bad that he made fun of Lucas. He's like, let me find the whitest kid here.
I didn't make fun of him. I don't think I made fun of him. I gave him a good role that was then taken away.
You tried to cast him. I'm sorry, you're correct.
Yeah,
you tried to cast
exactly.
him in the show.
I tried to cast him as Doctor Who. But yes, let's jump into the spoiler part of the show. Elle lost her powers. Mm-hmm. That's from last season. So she literally spends this whole season trying to get them back. We also spend this whole season of Hopper trying to escape Russian prison. And then you have the other characters having to find a way to fight Vecna, which is the new name of the new bad guy, who comes from, like Disco said before, from the Dungeons and Dragons game that they were playing, whose main guy was Vecna. Um, so
Well,
so
and
these
you had the
kids who have no
California crew.
yes,
The California crew were dealing with like literally like the freaking government trying to murder them.
yeah. So you have all that happening and all these different storylines that slowly are starting to merge into one towards the end. There's a lot of detective work happening, but what I did enjoy is that this season they did not rely on Elle being the one that saves everybody. They had to figure out a way to save themselves.
Not yet.
Even
Yeah.
though, I mean, or at least
Still
they had
time
to
for
find
Elle
a
to
way
save.
to survive until Elle
We got
gets
like
her
5
powers
hours.
back.
It's still like
Yeah. At least survive without Elle coming to the rescue every time using her powers. So,
You gotta admit,
which
this
I
season
found
they went through a
interesting.
lot. They went through a lot without
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, it was all over
Absolutely.
the place. There's so many more characters, and there must be at least 3 or 4 different settings. So it was
Yeah.
pretty packed in there.
yeah, there was a lot going on.
The 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 ending where you find out how the gate was made, who number one is, and like why the whole program was happening to give these kids powers. We'll almost know why the program was happening, but it made it seem in the beginning that this program was created to fight what was coming out of the gate,
Upside down. Yep.
the upside down, or yeah, the gate that was open
Yeah.
to the upside down. But in this season they're like, no, this program happened because of this kid number one who had the powers, and then they tried to recreate those powers in other kids, so the government can do remote assassinations pretty much. At least that's the story on the surface, right? But then the fight at the culmination of the fight at the end between 11 and 1, that resulted in 1 getting fucking evaporated and opening the gate to the underworld, to the upside down, brought up a lot of questions for me. So I was just like, so where do the powers come from? Because I thought the powers were a tether that came out of the upside down. Like, she has a connection to the upside down. That's why she has the powers, and then that's why she's the only one that could fight them. But maybe the tether comes because her powers are a copy or somehow related to Vecna, which is number one. So is Vecna whose power ended up creating the upside down? Like, there's a lot of confusion on my part, at least, or just questions need to be answered of like how things came to be, like where the powers came from, how do they relate to the upside down?
I feel
Is
like
there
they
a
did that
bigger
on purpose,
baddie
though.
than Vecna?
Well, who was the
I feel
main baddie of the show? What was it, the name that they gave him?
It was a different one. Like season 1 was just the Demogorgon.
The
2 and 3
Demogorgon?
was the Mind Flayer, and
The
then
Mind
now they
Flayer.
have
So
Vecna.
apparently the Mind Flayer is supposed to be like the big bad boss.
So we
Okay.
don't know that for sure. That's what the kids said in the show. That's what they think.
Yeah.
They thought
Yeah.
that they said like, oh, Vecna must be his general, but we don't really know if that's the case or not. There might be another guy.
Exactly. Or it could be Vecna. Who knows?
Yeah,
But-
it could be Vecna.
Because it seems like with the with that power struggle between 11 and 1, and her winning and him dying and being pushed into this upside down and transforming into Vecna, which I feel like is a like symbolism for what his insides actually look like, because he was so evil with his power, and like because he killed his mother, and like then he started like he killed his sister, and like all this crazy shit that was happening that he was doing. I wonder if the upside down is his manifestation. Like, that's just you know.
I've thought of that, but I feel like
I
within the
saw-
Upside Down, he has his own section. So it looks like
Section
he
of
might
it,
have
right?
had. It's like I feel like he has his own, because remember, it's like the house that's like all deformed.
Exactly,
I feel
yeah.
like that is just one like pocket side dimension within or parallel
Upside
to
Down.
the Upside
Yeah.
Down. That's what I think.
There's one point where they're in one of the dimensions and it's like all red and smoky, so like,
That's his.
I feel like that's his, like he was saying, like Dan was saying, his own little pocket dimension in the Upside Down or wherever.
Or
that
his
may
own
be.
territory, because I think the Upside Down is all one, but then he has his own territory.
Because I think the Upside Down was more like grayish when they were there, but then at one point there was like, it was just red. Like it was just like, this feels like a whole. So at least to me, it felt like a whole nother place. Like
even by the end, when Nancy gets in there, he's kind of looking like, you know, how'd you get in here? Like, what are you doing? Or what was it, Sam? Anyway, somebody got in there. He's like, what the fuck are you doing in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Like, what are you doing in my house?
there's too many characters.
But yeah, so but I guess we can get back to the whole which came first, the powers or the Upside Down.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting how like Vecna was like reaching out, killing people, like using their guilt against them for past actions, and like the episode with the girl, I forget her name, Dan, Sam, and like her dealing with Billy's death, and then using music. Like I feel like that came out of nowhere.
I'm sorry.
Sam.
Wow, it is Max. It is Max.
It
You're
Max?
100%
Okay.
right. It's Max.
Mac, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Sam.
I wouldn't know, so I just went along with
I'm gonna
it.
do that to you, Eslam. I'm gonna throw random ass names at you and just have you keep going. It's like, yeah,
I'm
so
just like,
Demetrius.
okay, yeah.
It was Jake.
Yeah.
From State Farm.
I'm sure one of the guards was named Demetrius. Like
It was Shingo Takagi.
Shingo Takagi. The Stone Pitbull was there. What was I saying?
You're talking about Sam, not Max.
Right, Sam. So it was interesting, like how they used music, like when they found the father, and then like the music was what like it was. I feel like that was like a weird trope they threw in there to be able to just fight off Vecna and bring her back. Like with that was the weapon that they chose to use, and they had to build it into the story somehow, because 11 was there and she couldn't just like fucking like pull her out or something.
I mean, it could potentially be music is just one thing. Maybe it's something that just gives off that same effect, something that gives you that feeling of being home. Maybe what they could think to right now is music, but maybe they can make it so it's other things too. Like maybe it's the smell of some home cooked meal or some shit. Who knows?
I feel like it was music because it can't be something visual if you're in a dream world, right? But at the same time, it's like they were like yelling at her, and she wasn't like she wasn't responding. Yeah.
But what if they put a pie under her? It's like, oh, this is Max's favorite pie. Let her
This is
smell it.
Max's. Run back to her house. Go get the pie her mother made.
Yeah, right.
The music is like the easiest to connect
Absolutely
to your emotions,
and I think
even knowing,
in shows and
subconsciously.
movies, that love is always like the one thing they always say that saves the day.
Yeah, right.
Apparently
Maybe
on
Lucas should've just kissed
Spotify,
her.
Spotify, that song became like the #1 hit, and it's like some random unknown like 80s song. It's just like I don't.
It was a good song.
I've never heard that song before in my life.
They
I love the
could have
80s.
chosen anything and it would have hit the
Kate
chart.
Bush or some
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
Jimmy Crack Corn, and I don't care. Could have been anything.
Everybody's just blasting it out their car. Jimmy Crack.
No, but yeah, I'm surprised
See,
you've
Batman
never
was
heard
like,
that
that's
song.
my jam.
Yeah, I know my 80s stuff, man. I just that they got the 180 song I'm not familiar with. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny that I actually
It's
knew
pretty
that
catchy
song.
though. I kind of like.
Oh, it was a great song. I loved it.
Yeah.
Could have picked a good song for like the moment. So you could have picked Michael Jackson's "Beat It."
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
beat it.
That probably would have cost so much money
Oh,
just for
yeah.
licensing.
Yep.
But I think
Absolutely.
maybe they picked music because I feel like there's like studies or some form of music being used for people that are unconscious and that registers with their brain. So I mean, potentially, yeah, they can make that argument, but whatever. I'm just saying.
People for Alzheimer's like yourself that are like really bad.
I love how you snuck that in. I love how you.
He was so serious.
Just real smooth with it.
Yeah, like people with Alzheimer's like yourself.
Like so.
Like, people that are really bad, like music is supposedly like brings them back, and they get like a couple moments of coherency. And so
Dude.
there are studies, and it's like I feel like the easiest trope to kind of like ground somebody without
see, now I believe you more because I don't listen to music anymore.
Mm.
And this could be the reason why I'm deteriorating so fast. I need to go back to listen to music. I've just been listening to podcasts and audiobooks.
I got a question for you, Eslam. What's the name of the redheaded girl that we're talking about right now?
Max.
Okay.
I got,
Nice.
it's all right. I'm not that bad. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I am, but like not right now. Oh boy. Okay, so those are the questions that this season brought up to me that I know we're gonna get the answer. And forgetting Elle's power back, they put her in like a sensory deprivation tank, and pretty much made her remember her training. It was almost like putting her in a what's it called? The
It basically turned her into a
hyperbolic time
precog.
chamber. What happened?
So they basically turned her into a precog.
Yeah. Like they just like put her in there. They're like, remember this shit, and like just
Just
train
like
in
that.
your
Remember
mind.
this shit.
Yeah.
Remember this shit, Tom Cruise?
and retrain your
Is that
mind
from
to like
Minority
get those
Report?
powers back. And then she thought she's the one that killed everybody because it was such a traumatic event that she blocked it out, and then it ended up being she had something to do with killing everybody, but she didn't do it directly. And
That was a nice twist.
she had, yeah, and then it was number one, and she ended up killing number one and creating Vecna. So and opening the gate to the Upside Down, which brought up all the shit. But why is this town, so special? And I'm sure it's just on a point in the planet where the veils between both worlds are very thin, and that's why they can break through. Because that's always the like whenever there's like something supernatural or like from another dimension coming to this earth or whatever, it's usually because the points of these two planes touching is the thinnest here, so that's why you can break through and have a crossover.
That's
but yeah.
that's what they found out. Vecna's motives were he's trying to create gates, and I was laughing when they came up with the water gate. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. He was
pretty
using the power of killing them to rip a hole and create a new gate, at least a small one for
So
him.
I'm
to
wondering
be able
if
to.
he's trying to like merge worlds, or is he just trying to get back, or like what his real motives are.
Yeah.
But two things I wanted to say is I love the way Vecna kills his prey.
Yeah,
It's
that was
it's
very
so
interesting.
brutal. It's so brutal.
Just
You
snapping
just
them
see
and
them
everything,
kind of trance out, and the next thing you know they're floating, and then all their bones break. It's horrifying. I would never want to die that way, and it's just one of those disgusting things. I like want to look away, but I can't. It's just like so crazy. Especially when Eddie was there and you saw it for the first time. It was just
His face was great.
It was I
He
I
did a
loved
good
the way
job.
his reaction.
I just want to point out, I love that actor.
Yeah,
the
he's
character
great.
of Eddie is so good.
Yeah, he's so good. He plays that role so good. Everybody just
Yeah.
thinks he's like a Satan worshiper or bad, bad character, whatever,
Yeah.
bad apple, and he's really just a
Yeah.
good guy.
Didn't they say that he was like older than anybody else in the class?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
he stayed back like
stayed
3
back a
times
couple
or something.
times.
yeah.
It's like 27 out here
So,
just playing Dungeons and Dragons with teenagers.
Yeah, and then
But that
secondly,
scene
I
that they were
love-
talking about was good.
Yeah, it was well done.
Yeah.
And
That's the
like,
one I
he
was
did a
telling
great
you,
job.
talking about, where it reminded me of the Nightmare on Elm Street 1 movie where
Oh yeah,
Tina, she gets pretty much levitated up into the air, and I'm thinking to myself, I know they're not about to have this girl bloodied and going across the ceiling and everything, and while Eddie's just looking at it, and she falls, and he's wanted for murder, and I'm like, this is exactly how it went.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
times.
and then when he ran out, Max was like, "Oh, I saw his face. It was like he was terrified, and you could tell. Like I just love that whole scene, and especially when he was in the lake, which leads to the second thing I want to talk about is when they're at the lake and they actually went over. I thought it was so funny when he was the last on the boat. He was just like, "Fuck! Like I gotta go. I'm not trying to be here." But then
It's like, I'm not gonna be the bitch when two
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
just
Yeah.
went in.
Yeah.
And he explained that too. He was like, oh, well, after
no
they
second
did it, I don't
thought.
want to feel a certain way.
Yeah, so but then I like when they actually crossed over to the Upside Down world. I was like, oh, this is juicy now. What's his name? what's the one with the hair? They started chewing
Dustin.
him up. I forget. Dustin.
No, you're
not
talking
Dustin.
about with the hair is Oh man, it's
Nick? I don't know.
Jay,
I feel like
right?
it's not
Isn't it Jay?
Jay and Silent Bob. No, I
Jake
don't know
from
if it's
State
Jay.
Farm.
I don't think it's
Jake?
Jay.
Is it Jake? No, I don't
No.
mean Jay. It's with the letter J. I mean,
Oh.
I don't know.
I got
Whatever,
you. Just
that dude.
I'll figure it out if you want to just keep talking.
Yeah. So he swims to the Watergate, and he like gets pulled into the upside down world, and they all go down and chase him, and they're like fighting for their lives in this upside down world. There's like crazy hellbats just attacking them by swarms, and he gets like
His name is Steve,
wrapped
by the
up
way.
around his neck. Steve, wow, I was never gonna get
Way
that.
off.
I was thinking of John for some reason. The other one,
Jacob.
Nancy's other boyfriend.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so cool how it was just like really like an almost apocalyptic feeling where they're fighting for their lives, and he's like getting choked out and they're eating his sides, and he's just like fighting. He doesn't know what to do, and then the rest of the gang comes and they're fighting too, like with paddles, and I that just seems so fun to me. It's terrifying for sure, but fun just to see what kind of survival skills you have. But
It's almost like if there were in a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
for real, that's so true. Real life D&D. But that was one of my favorite parts. Once they got sucked over there, and then they like had to survive, and they kind of found out that that's like a stasis from like 3 years ago or whatever it was. It wasn't like the upside down was not current.
is back in time.
It's some fun lore there.
Curious if they're going to
stuff,
use
so-
that for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why
I
is
wanna
it
see
it's
what
like
that's
it's
gonna
almost
do.
somewhere between 3 to 5 years behind? Like, I don't. Who knows what that'll do? And
Yeah.
they
Sound
said
like
that
a
it
prison
started
sentence.
around the time that Will first disappeared. So since basically
That's when
everything
he
started.
entered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
season
he
1.
entered. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I want to know more about the upside down like plane, and Vecna. I feel like he has his own plane too. I want to know like what's up with that. And but yeah, I just really like that. I thought it was interesting, that upside down world, and also how they like found their way back. I thought that was pretty cool
Yeah.
too. Where they climbed that rope and it was
Yeah, visually it was really nice. Yeah. But one of my favorite
yeah.
aspects was definitely sorry, Eslam.
No,
yeah.
go.
Was the whole, it's demon worshipping, playing D&D. It's like you're devil worship, because that was a big thing back during that time. And I was just like, I love that they incorporated that into the story. And then you even have like, there's literally like a freaking witch hunt going on trying to find Eddie, and it's led by the one
The
typical high school
basketball
jock from
star,
every
yeah.
movie. And it's just like, I love the fact that they're doing that. And now it's like the kids are like, no, we're not devil worshippers. We just like playing this make-believe game. It's really cool. And it's
It's a fun game.
it's just it's cool that they finally brought something like that, also a real world thing that was going on at the time, and incorporated into the story.
And even after the
I-
jock saw it with his own eyes, how a person was
Yeah.
killed, he's like, "See, it's happening, but it's in this
Yeah.
damn hell club."
He's like he's the conduit for the devil.
Yeah.
Like he found a way to instead of changing
Yeah.
his
Beliefs.
opinion based on what he saw, he changed his perspective of what he saw to
fit his already belief, like his
Yeah.
previous
Yeah, he wanted to
beliefs.
justify his belief,
yes,
basically.
thank you. Well, that was a way easier sentence than what I was trying to fucking say.
Yeah, get the fuck off this podcast. Get out of here.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's not trying to be a poet over here and shit.
I know, right? Like
Man's writing soliloquies and shit. Like, nah. You got too many main topics.
like fuck. I know, right? Also, just two more things. Dustin just like was the one who figured everything out, and I was just like, okay, I get it. You need the story to move along, and you need.
He's always the
someone-
smartest.
First of all,
Out of all
everyone
of them.
figured
True.
out everything a little too well. I think all the
Yeah, right?
First of all, if this happened to us, there would not be a season 2. I want to figure
not
it
making
out
it out.
any day.
We're not making it up. Disco's gonna be just
100%.
trapped to the upside down. Like, bro, you're staying there, man. I don't know what these lights mean. You're good. Like,
He would have been on the back
Bro,
window.
I
part.
can barely see in the light. I ain't coming in the dark.
Have you seen Will? And that's it. This the movie. Like, Will? Yeah, I can't see him.
oh man.
You got me trapped there, fucking Vecna's manslave over there.
Yo, Will getting fucking tentacle rape by Vecna out in the fucking upside down. Just like, oh, we had a friend. He gone now. Oh,
That's
shit.
that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
You remember Will? Nope. Credits.
Fucking Vecna.
That's so true. My God.
Vecna just like, here, over here, bottoms up.
Yeah.
Especially that one scene when they were Nancy, I think her name was Nancy, and the other one, the lesbian one, where they were looking up
Robin.
stuff about Victor Creel, and then all of a sudden,
See, now I don't believe you.
Robin,
I don't believe
I'm gonna go
that.
with
The
the
name
right
is
name.
Robin. The name is Robin.
Robin just
It's
picked that
Uma.
random
It's Uma
book
Thurman's
up,
daughter. Yeah.
Almost never done, yeah.
picked up a random book, and it just like happened to be in there. It was like, that's a little too easy.
And the other thing I want to say, that weed dude was hilarious.
Argyle.
Argyle.
Yeah.
He was a funny character.
Funny,
He's
Funny
always been like a
actor.
side actor, like in different like movies and stuff. He's always funny. Oh, and
He's great.
when he started to fall in love with Susie's sister, I believe who is exactly what's her name, Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. I saw that.
I was like, it's just the same hair, the same outfit. I was like, they just pulled her out the Breakfast Club, put her straight
I
in
swear to
things.
God, I was like, is that her? And I kept waiting for the camera to just kind of pan on her face. I was like, no, it's not her.
Like, shouldn't she be like 40 years older? Like,
Yeah. I'm like, you're giving
It's her
everybody a
daughter.
facelift on this show.
And the last thing I wanted to bring up, I don't know, because I didn't get this vibe, but when Nadia watched it, she mentioned it to me. She was like, they were heavily insinuating that Will was gay for Mike.
yes,
Hmm.
yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
you guys got that vibe.
100%.
I didn't get that vibe.
I was kind of getting that, but I wasn't sure if he was just innocently like, this is my best friend. Like, but I don't know.
See, you guys don't remember season 3. So in season 3, there's one specific point where like Lucas is dating Max. Mike and Levin are hooked up. It's like everybody. Dustin has Susie, and he's just like, I thought we were all gonna play games. It's like all you guys do is like care about girls and stuff. He's like, yeah, well that's what we do. Like maybe you should get on track.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I just wanted to hang out with my friends. And it's like maybe that's not, but that's like right there. It's like he's insinuating. It's like, why do you guys care about girls so much?
I was like, well, that was
so
in
it's like-
season 1.
I mean, honestly, that was me in high school. I was like, yo, Jiraiya just died. Chris, stop being like, why are you out here with girls? Like, we need to mourn Jiraiya.
I'm always gonna bring up the
Call
point.
him gay because he had a girlfriend. Who made
Yeah.
no sense. Yeah.
I'm always going to bring up the thing when we were playing SmackDown versus Raw on our PSPs, and we all changed the load screen so that we had the WWE Divas pop up on our load screens, except for Eslam. And then one day it's just like I think I had like we were playing and I had like Stacy Keibler, Danny had like Tori Wilson, and somebody else had like Trish Stratus, and then Eslam was like, "Oh, you guys are girls. I got Kane. Look, I got Kane," and he's all showing it off. I'm like, all right, man.
Homos out here.
No, someone
Look at that.
should
Now
have
Eslam's
prepped
getting
Will ahead of
married.
time.
Yeah.
We said, listen,
But
Will,
I-
you spent a little time in the Upside Down. We discovered some things while you were gone.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he got some tentacles up his booty hole.
You don't know what I
but
did.
One thing I do want to give a shout out to my little sister. I was talking to her today about the show. She's obsessed with Stranger Things. She's watched it from beginning to end. I don't know how many times. And she caught something. I was just like, all right, I'll mention it for her. So she was rewatching it, and she saw on I don't know what it is. One of the episodes. I don't know if it's season 1, season 2, where they're celebrating Will's birthday, and the day that they go to the roller rink and everything's happening to 11 in this season is the same date as Will's birthday, according to my little sister.
Wasn't Elle like, hey, it's your birthday, let's go?
She said that?
Yeah, wasn't that why they went, because it was his birthday?
No, they went because they want to hang out with Mike. They're like, hey, we go to the roller rink.
I thought I thought it had something to do with his birthday too.
Sure. I don't think they were
It
I thought
could
it
have
was
been.
somebody's
I don't think so.
birthday. I thought it was somebody's.
I don't remember being anyone.
I could have sworn somebody mentioned birthday. Whatever. Either way, I didn't get that vibe. I thought just like when Mike showed up at the airport, he kind of like brushed off Will like hey, like whatever. I'm not like we're not like almost like we're not friends, and like Will took it like to heart, and I like I could understand that part, but I don't know, for some reason I didn't get like he was like in love with Mike type vibe, but whatever. That's just me.
Oh, Mike has
Anything
been in
else?
love with 11 so damn much. That's been his fixation every season.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah,
like, well, what about 11 and 11 and about 11? It's like, Mike, we can just shut the hell up and sit down and roll the damn dice.
yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Anything
Also,
else you guys want?
the love triangle. Well, that's I feel like that's all the internet's been talking about between Demetrius, John, and Mary.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Those are not
but,
real
It's
characters.
not
that's all.
Demetrius. I know.
Neither is Mary.
I know it's not
His
Demetrius.
name's Nancy.
Oh shit, that's right.
Oh my god. The love triangle between Mole, Larry, and Shem. Everyone's talking about it.
Between
You
Steve,
got me, you
John,
son of a
and
bitch.
Nancy. Oh man. Well, so that's something they've been doing like the whole show. They've gone back and forth on it a few times throughout the season, but I feel like a lot of people are just like, who should Nancy end up with? Which one? It's like, stay with John, who just like, I don't want to be with her anymore. Or be with Steve, who's just like, I wish I had a girlfriend. Like,
It feels
So, I
like
don't know.
Nancy's
Out here
leaning
getting-
towards Steve though, but I think that's just because John's pulling back so much. It's just like, bro,
Yeah.
be with her. Like, what are you doing?
Well, John is like, I'm gonna hold her back. She's like, great. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm gonna hold her back.
yeah.
Steve is out here like, I'm getting a lot of pussy, but I need that something
I can't
extra.
find love.
Yeah, exactly.
John's
And
just
it's
all
just-
like, man, I just look like one of those guys from the Boondock Saints. I don't know what to do with my life.
And Mary just needs to like just fucking get someone else. Neither of them. She needs to get
my
someone
theory, I would not at all be surprised if it ends up being Robin.
better. Oh, that would be interesting.
They're really good friends now. They're always hanging out and all that stuff. I could see that happening.
But you think Mary gonna be bi?
Yeah.
Her name's
why not?
Nancy, but maybe.
I know her
Potentially
name's
could be.
Nancy, but I'm gonna call her Mary from now on. Her name will forever be Mary to me
Oh man.
until I forget by the next episode.
Well, it was like that time that you wished me a happy birthday randomly, and I was just on my birthday, obviously, and I was like, "No, dude, my birthday was 6 months ago. And you felt so bad." So
Yeah, I was just like, I was so confident it was your fucking birthday.
One day he's going to
And
say,
you're
happy
like-
birthday, Will. So sorry.
I remember he got me with that, and I was just like, God, I was like, how did I forget? I was so
I was like,
confident.
"Thanks, man. It's belated, but I appreciate it still anyway. I guess."
Yeah.
Also the
He's
next
the thought that
damn.
counts.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry
Whatever,
about that old
man.
chap.
All right. Anything else we want to discuss about Stranger Things season 4 part 1?
One more thing last thing I wanted to mention about it was about Hopper.
Yeah.
He like broke both his ankles, got broken ribs, and he's still fighting.
Walking around just
Demogorgons
fine.
and doing all this
Yeah.
crazy shit.
I think it was the
Dude
cold, bro.
Dude smacked his ankles in. He's just like, I'm good. I'm just perfectly fine. I'll just
Fine.
keep going.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Honestly, I think it was the cold. His foot hasn't thawed out yet, so it's still frozen in place.
What
Yeah.
about those ribs?
Yeah, everything's frozen.
Everything's frozen. It can't be broken now.
I see.
It's-
Once he escapes,
Once he
it's all gonna set in.
Once he goes back to America,
He's gonna
as
just
soon
break
as he-
down.
Yeah, he's just gonna melt. He's just
He's
gonna
like, I need
fucking.
an ICU.
He's gonna end up like one. He's gonna
Internal
end up like
bleeding.
one of those corpses by Vecna. But it's just that's just gonna. He's like, I was
He's
in
gonna
Russia
he's
for
gonna
6
melt
months.
away into his own skin and be like Terminator with a thumbs up. Just
Oh shit.
I should have stayed in Russia.
Oh man, another thing was Murray in the plane.
Oh,
where
right.
he's just
Oh,
like, I never
God,
actually
Murray
fought
with the
somebody.
karate.
Everything was working. I was like, go Murray.
This is how
actually
bad.
winning.
This is how bad my Alzheimer's is, because I was like in the beginning of this, in the non-spoilers, I was like there were characters that I enjoyed, and it was Murray, and I completely forgot I even said that. But yes, I
He's the
really enjoyed.
characters.
Yeah, he's the characters. Murray, I enjoyed his karate very much.
Get him, Murray.
Nah, yeah.
Kung Fu Master Murray.